Watch closely.
You poisoned me! I love her better. She deserves someone like me.
Even if Elias woke up, he might not be the same.
Why is he leaving me?
Doctors are trained to measure carefully. Milligrams, seconds, oxygen levels, heartbeats. They are trained to calculate the exact amount needed to save a life. What they are never warned about is how easily the same knowledge can be used to take one. Dr. Elias Martins built his life on control. He was not loud, not flashy, not reckless. While other doctors flirted with nurses and boasted about long shifts, Elias went home. He read. He planned. He believed in order because he grew up in chaos. His father drank too much, fought too much, lost too much. As a boy, Elias made himself a promise. I will never lose control. Medicine became his discipline, his structure, his peace. Then he met Zara Bello. There was no dramatic moment, no sparks flying across a room. Just two adults who recognized calm in each other. Zara liked that he was steady. Elias liked that she was kind but strong. They dated like people who were tired of heartbreak. No games, no drama. Morning coffee before hospital rounds. Long, quiet evenings. Soft conversations about the children they hoped to raise differently from how they were raised. It was peaceful. And peace can make someone else jealous. Dr. Kunle Sadiq had known Elias for years. Same university, same hostel, same medical training. They studied together, celebrated together, survived together. But life slowly began to separate them. Kunle was brilliant, quick thinker, confident. But Elias had something Kunle did not. People trusted him instantly. Senior doctors chose him for delicate cases. And when Zara had to choose, she chose Elias. Kunle noticed the way she looked at his friend. Not excited, not impressed, certain. That certainty bothered him. Because in many parts of his life, he had always been second. Second choice. Second leader, second favorite. He smiled at their wedding. Adjusted Elias's tie before he walked down the aisle. But inside, something dark began to grow. Not anger. Resentment. Marriage softened Elias. He left the hospital earlier, turned down extra shifts, started talking about opening a clinic with Zara someday. Kunle watched everything. And a thought entered his mind. You would have built something bigger with her. The idea did not start as murder. It started as comparison. Kunle began noticing small mistakes Elias made during rounds. Distracted. You're slipping, Kunle joked one day. Elias laughed. But Kunle did not forget. He began convincing himself that Elias was becoming weak. That Zara deserved someone stronger, smarter, more ambitious. And slowly, his thoughts became dangerous. The first pills were harmless. Vitamins, supplements. Elias trusted him completely. They had too much history. Kunle slowly changed the doses. Very small amounts. So small they would not be detected quickly. He didn't want Elias to die immediately. He wanted him to fade. And that is what happened. Weeks later, Elias' hands began shaking during surgery. He felt confused at times, exhausted. Sleep did not help. Zara grew worried. Kunle stayed calm. It's stress, he would say gently. He just needs rest. Hospital management noticed the change. Kunle suggested Elias take leave. I'll cover his cases, he offered. He looked like a good friend. But the poison was working. Elias started doubting himself. That was the cruelest part. The night he collapsed was quiet. Dinner. A glass of water. Then darkness. Zara screamed. Kunle arrived quickly. Too quickly. He handled everything. Stabilized Elias. Comforted Zara. Took control. 2 days later, Elias slipped into a coma. And that is when everything changed. The first week, Zara was only grief. She barely ate, barely slept, refused to leave the hospital. Kunle stayed beside her constantly. He explained medical reports, brought her food, encouraged her to shower. He became her emotional support. Grief creates strange bonds. One night, a senior consultant gently told her that even if Elias woke up, he might not be the same again. Zara broke down completely. She cried against Kunle's chest. "Why is he leaving me?" she whispered. He held her. That was the first shift. Not love, not desire, just loneliness meeting comfort. Days passed. Hope faded. Kunle drove her home one evening because she hadn't changed clothes in days. The house felt empty. Elias's shoes were by the door, his clothes still in the closet. She sat on the floor and whispered, "What if he never comes back?" Kunle sat close to her. Too close, hesitant. She pulled away immediately. "This is wrong," she said. He agreed. But he didn't leave. That was the second shift. The final shift happened later. Zara visited Kunle's apartment to sign insurance documents and discuss medical bills. They talked for hours. She cried again. She felt abandoned by fate. She believed her husband was already gone. That night they crossed the line. Not out of passion, not out of lust, out of grief. It was a mistake born from hopelessness. Afterward, Zara cried. Kunle held her. But inside, he felt victory. He had replaced Elias before Elias was even buried. Zara convinced herself she had already lost her husband. She told herself she was slowly saying goodbye. Then, Elias woke up, and everything froze. Recovery was slow and painful. Memory returned piece by piece. But Elias had questions. He requested private toxicology tests. The results were clear. He had been poisoned, slowly, carefully. When he confronted Kunle, there was no denial. "I loved her better," Kunle said calmly. "You were becoming weak. I only sped up what would have happened." Kunle was arrested. But the second betrayal hurt more. Police recovered deleted messages, timestamps, photos, proof. Sat across from Zara. "Did you wait for me to die?" he asked quietly. She confessed everything. The kiss. The apartment. The night. "I thought I had lost you," she cried. "But what Elias heard was different. You replaced me before I was gone." He survived. But survival is not healing. His hands never fully steadied again. He left surgery. Their marriage slowly broke apart. Every touch felt wrong. Every silence felt heavy. Eventually, they separated quietly. No scandal, just damage. Kunle now sits in prison, still writing letters, still convinced he corrected destiny. And sometimes, Elias lies awake at night, wondering something darker. Was it ever really about Zara? Or did Kunle simply want to prove that he could control life and death? Because the scariest part is not that his friend tried to kill him. It is that he smiled the whole time, measured the dose, measured the timing, measured the grief. And somewhere, someone else is watching the people closest to them, calculating, adjusting, waiting. Because some betrayals don't scream. They prepare. They calculate. They measure. And when the moment is right, they pour.